When Dozer first saw Daisy, we were nervous. Really nervous. He was huge compared to her. One of his paws looked almost as big as her whole body. And there was one question running through our minds. Would Dozer really accept this tiny puppy into our family? But Daisy was not scared at all. She looked at that giant dog like she had already made up her mind. Like she was saying, "Yep, you're my guy." And what Dozer did next surprised us. Right from the start, Daisy began testing the waters. She got right up in his face. She walked around his paws. She stepped in front of him, then backed up and came right back again. Dozer could have pushed her away with one easy move, but he didn't. He just watched her, quietly, patiently, like he was trying to figure out what this tiny little thing was all about. We watched them from a distance, and little by little, we started to relax. Dozer's body language was much softer than we expected, and Daisy acted like she had lived there her whole life. She didn't back away. She didn't keep her distance. Before long, the roles started to change. Dozer may have been the biggest dog in the house, but Daisy was clearly running the show. Whenever Dozer stretched out to rest, Daisy was right there. She would stay still for a few seconds. Then she would start bothering him again. A little nudge, a little paw, her face right up next to his, like she was saying, "Come on, big guy, get up. We're not done yet." And the look on Dozer's face was priceless. Sometimes Daisy was so persistent you could almost hear him thinking, "Does this little dog ever get tired?" But no matter how much she bugged him, Dozer never snapped at her. And there was something else going on, something easy to miss. Dozer was always controlling his strength around Daisy. He slowed himself down. He stayed low to the ground. He let her get close, really close. And Daisy seemed to notice, because every minute she got a little braver. Even when she wandered a few feet away, she always came back to Dozer, like there was an invisible string pulling her right back to him. After a while, it wasn't just about playing anymore. Daisy started following Dozer everywhere. The living room, the kitchen, across the rug. Wherever Dozer went, Daisy wasn't far behind. And outside, nothing really changed. She would run off, come back, circle around him, then take off again. But she always checked where Dozer was. Like knowing he was nearby made everything feel safe. Maybe Dozer wasn't just a big dog to Daisy. Maybe he was becoming her safe place. And Dozer seemed to understand that too. The closer Daisy got, the more room he made for her. Nothing about their bond looked forced. Daisy was comfortable. Dozer was gentle. One had endless energy. The other had endless patience. One was a puppy discovering the world. The other was this big, powerful dog who had already seen plenty of it. You might expect two dogs this different to keep their distance, but that's not what happened. Daisy kept moving deeper into Dozer's world, and instead of pushing her away, Dozer let her stay. By the middle of the video, you start noticing something. Daisy doesn't act like a guest anymore. She curls up near him. She jumps into his games. She gets in his way. Sometimes she goes after his toy. Sometimes she just sits beside him. And sometimes she bothers him for no reason at all, just because she wants his attention. And Dozer? He's used to it now. There are even moments when Daisy walks away, and Dozer seems to look for her. That's when this stops feeling like two cute dogs playing together. It starts feeling like a real friendship, and then something even sweeter happens. At first, Daisy is always the one chasing Dozer, always asking him to play. But after a while, Dozer starts giving it right back. Now he watches her. He follows her. He joins the game. Sometimes Daisy starts it. Sometimes Dozer does. It's like they created their own little language, a game only the two of them understand. Without even trying, Daisy brought a whole new kind of energy into Dozer's everyday life. We don't know how busy his days were before she came along. But after Daisy arrived, the whole house felt different. Now there were tiny paws everywhere. Every quiet moment came with another invitation to play. And Dozer was right in the middle of it. Daisy may only weigh a few pounds. Next to Dozer, she still looks tiny. Almost ridiculously tiny. But when they're together, none of that seems to matter. because Daisy never saw a giant she should be afraid of. She saw a friend she could trust. And Dozer never saw an annoying little puppy. He made room for her, first beside him, then in his games, and eventually, in his everyday life. Maybe that's why watching them feels so good. Some friendships don't begin with one big moment. Sometimes a tiny puppy just walks right up to a dog who looks 10 times her size. And somehow, that big dog quietly tells her, "You're okay here." Daisy probably had no idea what she was doing when she came into Dozer's life. She just wanted to play. But sometimes, that's all it takes. A little energy, a little persistence, a little love, and somebody showing up at just the right time. Sometimes a tiny dog weighing only a few pounds can fill up the whole world of a big dog like Dozer. And maybe the sweetest part is this. By the end, it's hard to tell which one of them needed the other more.